The rivalry between the world's most valuable hardware company and its most famous AI lab has moved into the courtroom. Apple has filed a massive federal lawsuit accusing OpenAI of orchestrating a systemic effort to steal proprietary hardware designs and supply chain secrets. The complaint details a trail of physical and digital evidence, from an unreturned corporate laptop to highly incriminating internal messages. Apple alleges that one former employee, after joining OpenAI, sent a message back to a colleague in Cupertino. LOL, I found out I can access the network storage. So funny. At this stage, these remain unproven claims. OpenAI and the named defendants have not yet responded in court, and under the legal system, they maintain a presumption of innocence until the facts are adjudicated. Regardless of the outcome, this filing marks a transition from a software partnership to a direct, high-stakes competition over the future of artificial intelligence hardware. In 2024, the two companies appeared to be close allies. Apple integrated ChatGPT into the iPhone's operating system, a move that positioned OpenAI at the center of the iOS ecosystem. The tension surfaced as OpenAI moved to reduce its reliance on Apple's platforms. The firm acquired I/O products for $6.5 billion, signaling its ambition to develop a standalone device that could eventually compete with the smartphone. That acquisition brought Jony Ive, the designer who spent decades crafting Apple's most iconic products, directly into OpenAI's inner circle. His involvement put the two companies on a direct collision course. By pivoting from a software provider to a direct hardware manufacturer, OpenAI created a clear strategic motive to acquire the specialized manufacturing and design knowledge Apple had spent decades developing. At the center of the suit is Tang Tan, a 24-year Apple veteran who served as vice president of product design for the iPhone. Today, he is OpenAI's chief hardware officer. Apple alleges that Tan weaponized the hiring process to extract trade secrets. The complaint claims he used internal Apple codenames when interviewing candidates and directed them to bring actual hardware components, like logic boards and batteries, to show and tell sessions. The scale of the talent migration is significant. Apple notes in its filing that more than 400 of its former employees have now joined OpenAI. The suit further claims that Tan distributed a confidential Apple document outlining security procedures. This was allegedly used to coach departing staff on how to bypass exit protocols and maintain access to internal systems after they resigned. By targeting a high-level executive, Apple is attempting to show that the misappropriation of data was a coordinated top-down strategy rather than the actions of a few rogue employees. The case names Chang Liu, a former senior systems engineer who joined OpenAI in January 2026. Apple alleges he kept his company laptop and immediately began exploiting his old credentials. Liu allegedly discovered an authentication bug that Apple had yet to patch. This exploit allowed him to maintain a live connection to Apple's internal cloud storage long after his employment ended. From inside OpenAI, Liu allegedly downloaded thousands of pages of confidential manufacturing data. The files reportedly included detailed circuit board designs and proprietary testing procedures for unreleased hardware. This alleged digital trail provides Apple with a trackable sequence of events, turning a general suspicion of theft into a detailed federal case. OpenAI has denied any wrongdoing. In a formal statement, the company asserted it has no interest in other companies' trade secrets and remains focused on its own technology. The lead-up to the suit included a breakdown in communication. OpenAI claims that Apple's initial warnings were lost in a clerical error after an Apple attorney mixed up the names and email addresses of two OpenAI employees. The defense is likely to focus on employee mobility. Under California law, workers have a broad right to switch employers, and OpenAI's legal team is framing the suit as an attempt to restrict that freedom. OpenAI contends that Apple is weaponizing the judicial system to punish former employees and stall a rising competitor. Apple is seeking a court injunction that would force OpenAI to destroy all allegedly stolen materials. This could legally require the firm to redesign its hardware from the ground up. The timing is critical. OpenAI filed to go public with a valuation targeted at $850 billion. An injunction could cloud that listing. If the court halts contested designs, OpenAI's hardware launch could slide significantly, forcing a rethink of projections before reaching Wall Street. If Apple successfully secures these court orders, OpenAI's ambitions to build a direct iPhone competitor could be stalled before the first device is ever revealed to the public. The case represents a struggle between a legacy hardware giant protecting its market share and an AI upstart accused of violating intellectual property rules to bypass years of development. The trial will have to determine whether this was a coordinated campaign of industrial espionage or a standard case of talent moving to a new firm in a competitive industry. The final verdict will define the legal ground rules for how intellectual property is handled as the industry races to build the next generation of consumer devices.